Welcome back to a very basic space program. Last time we tested our egress lander on the moon and we found out that it can actually land and it can get back into orbit. Now, I was going to jump straight into preparing the crew for a mission out to the moon, obviously, and I was looking at the timings and I thought, okay, we can probably squeeze that in. We do have a window for Vesta and Ceres that I really want to take advantage of, and that is in about 220 days. So their craft are going to take 109 days each to build, so I need one of them building now at least, ideally all three of them. But what we also potentially have, we've got an option. It's an interesting option, which is I could test whether these craft actually are going to work in orbit of the Earth, because I need to check that they dock. So I thought, okay, we've got the Dog 4, which is pretty much the Dog 3, but slimmed down for low Earth orbit sort of stuff. That takes about 50 days to build. We've also got the Egress 1C, and I've put that on top of the old, I think it's the Javelin 5. Javelin 5 with the Hydrolock stage we used for launching a few craft and things like that. And that can get into orbit now as well, and it only takes 59 days to build. So those are going to be building away. We're going to launch those. And I think this episode will look at those working together. And then I've got to figure out how on Earth I'm going to get some craft to Mercury or Ceres or Vesta or something, because I don't know which way around I'm going to do it. Anyway, please join me. However, before all of that, I've actually got a launch I need to do, and that is Teal 1. We're sending Teal 1 out to attempt to go to Titan, So I need to check that mission, but I also need to have a look and see which. I've got two potential windows that I identified. I need to have a look and see which of those I think is the best. So just give me a moment. Right, so we're going from Earth to Saturn is actually what I'm doing. You can't go. Yeah, you've got to go local system. Let's put us at I don't know, 1,000 kilometers up. We want to do it in the next, however long that is. Plot it. Let's see what it comes up with. So it says that's the best window. It does, however, say we've got one right here. So let me see. Flight time. I want to make that go up a little bit. Let's take that to 4,000. Right, and then we're going to take this to 29. Sorry, 29. That's a bit of an error. There we go. And plot it. So we've got an easy departure there. Right, okay. That means it will arrive at, let's have a look, arrival at 1989. Now let's have a look at the mission that we've actually got for this. We've taken it because we have to. That one, launch new vessel 1993. This one in 1993 as well. Okay, so they would arrive in time. It would give me 4 years to actually get them to Titan after arrival. Okay, we could bring it down to about here, and that would be potentially a little better. Give us a bit more, but I don't feel the need to do that. Okay, so anything around the 4,000 day transit time is okay. Let's just zoom. Can I zoom in there? But let's put us right in the middle of that, right there. Right, I'm going to jump back out of here. We're going to create a little maneuver thing for that. We're going to get rid of these two, and I'm gonna add that to there. Right, 24 days. Right, which is just after the Dog is ready, but before Egress is ready. Okay, so we'll do this launch, and then we shall put some Dog and Egress up together at the same time, I think. One thing I should point out, first of all, actually, let me go back. First of all, got a great situation where, because we've got different size launch pads, and I know the Dog fits on a 150 ton, that means the launch pad 3 is, the Dog's going to sit on it. The 350 or 700 will fit the Egress low Earth orbit craft. Teal can sit on the oversized one, and I've still got another unlimited pad sat waiting, which is brilliant actually. If I went to launch sort of things like this at the same time, absolutely brilliant. At the moment, it's actually our build queue that's a problem, but we're also getting a huge number of points in just from science coming in from all of our craft everywhere. So I'm just constantly just putting points into things, and at the moment, it is in our build queue. We're just increasing that build queue, getting it up there, because we're just launching so quickly right now. It feels like it's been the end of the 1970s for I think about 10 episodes. So we're just getting craft out there. You can see, like, yeah, these have all gone down, I think, 2 days just by the points that we've got in the last 30 days. So yeah, it's definitely going up there. So let's go on a couple more day, one more day, and I think we're almost ready for the teal launch. So let's get it done. And even just moving forward 3 days has given us yet more build point. This is just rolling. You see all the science coming in. We've got stuff on Mars. We've got stuff on Mercury. We've got stuff absolutely everywhere now. So here we are on the launch pad, just about to take off. And this is, yeah, it's a Javelin 75. It's all the way, I think. Yes, we are good. And it is, yeah, it's got the Teal 1 craft on the top. We have a second one that's in the build queue, but we have yet to do anything with it. This is interesting. Why did it roll? Why did it roll? We have got ascent guidance on. Have I actually rotated the stage? That's quite interesting. It did look a little different. So anyway, yeah, so this thing is going to be going up into orbit in line with the moon and everything, as always. And what I will do is we'll fast forward through until we actually show you what the Teal 1 looks like. Right, so here we are in orbit with Teal 1. And if I actually, let's aim the cameras somewhere. There we go, aim the camera there. You can actually start to see what it looks like. It's all dark at the moment. We'll show you a bit more of that in the future. But it's a single large probe. It's got some scientific equipment on board. It's not got a huge amount, actually, thinking about it. We've got most of the scientific equipment is on these landers here. It's got little outriggers, a bit like our Pathfinder craft. But it's got these two obviously landing craft on the side and large fuel tanks. It does actually have fuel to burn for hours. It's got some engines in here. We'll have a look at the once this thing actually decouples and all that sort of stuff. So let's get ourselves lined up to actually do a transfer to another planet. And you can see we have a lot of craft actually flying out places at the moment. So what's that? That's Discovery 10. Is that doing Neptune? And then that must be, no, Discovery 15 is Neptune. What's Discovery 10? It can't possibly be Uranus, because that's almost, oh, that is almost at Uranus, actually. Ooh, actually, let's just, when is that supposed to arrive? When is my Uranus arrival? Hello? That's going to Jupiter, that's Jupiter. Uranus is in still a long time. Wow. I didn't realize it was going to take that long. So it's just going to hover up there for, I suppose it's been on a long journey, hasn't it? And then when is my Neptune? Is a long way away. So what's Discovery 10? I cannot remember what Discovery 10 was for. Has it just been, did it go past Jupiter? Was it, oh, it was the flyby past Jupiter. It got a boost, didn't it? That was right. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day. Right. So we're going to do a maneuver planning thing. We're going to do a advanced transfer to another planet using a porky chop thing. Put that on the porky chop thing, please. There we go. And I want to go ASAP. That's going to be okay. That is a lot less delta V than I thought. So you know what to do that. Go ASAP. And that is create node. What's that going to do for me? Still okay. Okay. Let's just do this. Remove all nodes. What if I do that? Wow. I think we need to redo this. What's it? Okay, that's changed a lot. Why has that changed so horrendously? Reset it, please. There we go. Right. So that ASAP is going to be up there. It's going to be 11 years transit time. Interestingly, that one's 10. How much is it down here? Let's have a look. I'm liking the look of this area down here, actually. So turn that off. No, that isn't good enough, is it? It's going to have to be up there. Okay, so ASAP is going to be that one, and it's going to take us 11 years. That should be okay. I'm hoping that's okay. Let's actually just check. Do we have the deadlines on here? I think we do. Venus orbit Titan. Yeah, we've got plenty of time on that, I think. Yes. So include the capture. Go for ASAP. Lost LV. SAP. Create the node. Right. So that's going to be in 18 minutes. Well, execute that node, I think. That's what we're going to go for. Yeah. This has got a bit of a swing on it, which is interesting. Not a big fan of the amount of RCS that we're having to expel right now, the controllers. And I'm intrigued as to where this roll came from, because it wasn't there when we decoupled from that stage, and it sort of sped up as we've been going, which is quite interesting. Now, this will, of course, changed everything. So we're going to reset this. We're going to go ASAP. We're going to create node. And we're back there. And then we're going to execute next node. There we go. It's going to do a little bit of burst. It's going to turn it around. It says we're going to depart in 1 hour. Right. Now, if this doesn't mess up our orbit, this will be fine. I'm going to jump back to you in an hour. Right, we are ready for our departure. We're, of course, burning on the dark side, because that's what we do with these craft. I think we're ready to go. It's time to rock and roll. So I think we're going to do that. We're going to fire our engine. That's going to light up brilliantly. Then we'll have to decide whether we want to do maneuvers and stuff with the RSS on this. And I think that's probably going to be the right idea before we detach it, because I don't think this has... now. This may have an actual short-range communication. Let me just check. It does. It has UHF. So it would still get signal, wouldn't it? Yeah. Because, of course, we have UHF communicating with these things when they land, which is nice. We'll have a look at this in the sunlight at some point very soon, I think. Once this burn has completed. But I'm going to get this burn out of the way, and then I shall be right back with you. Just as we're finishing off the burn, I noticed something interesting. The exhaust sort of turbo pump exhaust actually fires out on this model onto the base of the engine bell, and I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to do it or it's just an odd side effect. Now, as soon as this engine cuts out, we will actually be aborting the node and putting it on prograde, and then we're going to play around a little bit with it without doing anything else, I think. So let's see what happens. Here we go, getting right to the point. Engine drops out. We're going to abort node. We're going to go prograde. There we go. Hold me on prograde. Get rid of that. Get rid of that one as well. There we go. Right, let's have a look. How are we looking? I think we've got an encounter. I think we might actually have an encounter. It does feel as though this is actually sending us a long way round for no reason, if I'm honest. Well, let's have a look. How close are we? We're not bad. We are not bad. Where's Titan? Rear. Is that... There's Titan. Right, what's our relative... Oh, that is horrible. Right, so we have a maneuver that we're going to try. I'm going to get the maneuver planner to do it. What I'm also going to do is we're going to... Do I just trust this engine to work? I think I do. I think we're just going to trust this engine to work. Yeah. Let's have a look. So, we can get rid of... You can actually get rid of that. Just go to, I don't know, circularize. There we go. That's easier. Right. It is going to be a 1 second burn on the main engine, which I'm going to do. And then we're going to use RCS because this is basically free fuel. So we're going to execute that node now. The RCS is going to swing it round. We've got about 4 minutes until we do it. It's not very far. The problem is just turning this craft with RCS is actually going to throw it off. Just because of the way that the program works, it's going to throw it off its path. You can see on the screen now that the periaps is actually moving as the RCS fires. So we're going to get something like this, but then we'll have to do a little bit of refining once we've done the decoupling of the probe and everything like that. And then we can actually have a look at the probe a little bit and see what's going on there. Wow, this is... Oh, that's going to throw everything off completely, isn't it? Wow, that is horrendous. So there we go. We should be getting onto it now. There we go. And then, of course, we'll do what we've done last time and just hold it on the node. Once we've finished it, we'll as soon as the Here we go. So we're going to do the burn. It should, I mean, we've got plenty of extra. We've got 1,000 meters per second in there, so we might as well use it in reality. There we go. Come on. Okay. Stop that. Abort node execution. And I just want you to hold where you are. Right. So now we're just gonna, there we go. Whoa. Stop firing. So turn that off. Well, I've turned that off. Ah. Turn that off as well. Right. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna bring it in just so that it matches a little bit. Now, I don't know how low we can go with Saturn. I want to come reasonably low. More efficient capture and all that. And then, this is the fun bit, we're going to decouple. Right, now that will have thrown us a bit. What's it done? What's it done to our orbit? Because we are going to roll a bit. Right, where are we? Okay, so we've got to do a bit of fixing. So do we have these active? No, we don't. Oh, can't do it on that stage. We've got to do here. Right, come on. We've got a minute past that. Right, we have now got things active. Let's jump back, and I need to bring this in. Even the smallest of movements now is going to bring this in. Here we go. Let's have a look. So just decoupling that. Oh, just decoupling that craft through us a bit. There we go. Turn the RCS off. Turn that off. So we're going to be within 6,000. That's very close, but it should be okay. Right. The aim here is that we want to put a capture burn in here. But what I really want to do is I want to do a maneuver up here. Right at the start here. So add maneuver. Let's have a look. I really want to walk that down a bit. I want to keep my periaps roughly where it is. That periaps is moving, isn't it? What if I do? I can't do that because for some reason it won't let me speed you up. Yeah, but it does that whenever I do it. Brilliant. Turn it back. Right, let's do a little bit of... Bring that back to there. I think we'll have to wait until we're interplanetary space to do some calculations on this. So we're going to just hold it there, turn the RCS off, and I'm going to jump away until we are ready to interplanetary, I think, which is going to be in... Where are we? We're right down the bottom. In about 23 hours. So I'll jump away, do that off camera, set maybe a node up, and then I think we're going to do some launches of crewed type vessels. Well, that was past future me, and this is future me. I don't even know if that makes sense. And we are launching, first of all, the Egress 1, I think it's Rogue 1C, on its little low Earth orbit launch vehicle. We've launched this vehicle before many times, and of course we've never had an egress on it. And you can see it going up there. It's got its hydrogen stage at the top there. And of course we are speedy upping this. And we're just going to put this thing into orbit. The idea, just to put it into a reasonably sort of stable, low Earth orbit. And it will be involved in a docking. Because what we're going to do is we're going to practice docking and just check out all the components of this craft on orbit. Here you can see we've got it into orbit. And we're just going to check it out. We're going to decouple it from its carrier. And we're just making sure that all the fuel cells or any of the systems are working, all the RCS is working. And this was just about me checking which RCS is activated at which point, which ones we're using. You can see the auxiliary thrusters on the side there. You can see the decoupler in the center, which will ideally be the point at which this will separate. And on its second docking, it won't have that lower section. We're just going to turn that into debris, the carrier section, and leave this in orbit. And one of the big things here is just making sure it's in the right orbit for us. We're in a nice circular orbit. Obviously, the first docking will be the whole craft at full weight, and so that's going to be a bit of a chunky one, and that is likely to be the one we have trouble with, and that's why we've been playing around with some of the RCS. Obviously, we're trying to keep it full weight just so it's realistic for that first docking, ideally. But of course, while that's in orbit, we have to launch another craft. So this is the Dog 4, which is going to act like the Dog 3 for this. We're going to just test it. The maneuverability's sort of there, although I don't think is going to do a lot of the maneuvering. But it's going to put the craft. We're going to put the craft up there, and we're just using the standard carrier for the dog, taking this up. We've obviously, this is the uprated one, so you will see it has multiple small engines instead of one big engine that can brake. It does make it a little bit weirder. It makes it a little bit noisier as well. But we're going to take this up there, and this is just our standard approach now. I do think we will be looking at building a new space station at some point around Earth, just because I think it's cool. And this, of course, will be the workhorse for that. So there we go. Into orbit, you can see those little thrusters at the back there now, all in charge. And they're going to stop us having all those big problems with engines braking, although they do make a poo-poom noise when they go like that, which is not entirely pleasant, but sped up, not great. So this is going to get itself basically into a rendezvous orbit with the egress lander there. And this is just going to practice what would happen around the moon. Now, obviously, it's a little different because around the moon, we've got a slightly different shape and things like that. But the first thing we've got to do is get them together. And once we've got them together, then we can do some other maneuvers. And here you go, just watching it nicely just slide on in there ever so gently. And we are good. So here we are in orbit, all docked up nice and wonderful. We're not too worried about the delta V that we have on here, but what we're going to do is, you may be thinking, well, you've shown that it docks now, we're done. No, we're actually going to do a couple of maneuvers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, and let's see if we can actually get in here. Let's move around to the sunny side, I think. Be good if we're in the light when we start doing this so you can see what's going on. What we're going to do is we're going to detach that lower stage, because we've now basically mocked up the two craft rendezvousing, sort of, when we are around the moon. However, actually, you know what? I think what we'll do is we will undock. We'll put this on normal negative and do that holding. Good. Right, we're going to get this. We're going to work with this. So we need to actually activate these thrusters, don't we? Are they activated? There we go. Right. So what we want to do is we want to turn this on, and we want to go back a bit. Now, we're just going to test. We're going to set that as target. We're going to control from here. And we're going to test that this thing can actually do what it needs to do. So we're going to get the docking autopilot on again. And we'll just autopilot it. Thank you. And yeah, I may speed this up, I may not, because this should be quite quick. We should be just looking at what we're doing now. What's it going to tell me it's doing? It's backing up at da-da-da-da. And it's starting to move towards now. Okay. So it should be firing. Yeah, so it's going to move itself across and towards the alignment. And I'm going to... I can't actually override the thing. That's interesting. So what we're going to do here is we're going to move this thing in, dock it, as if it was around the moon. That's what we're going to do. There we go. Right, let's just do that, and then a bit of this. Is that far enough back? There we are. Wonderful. Perfect. We're doing speedy up timey warp there, which is probably not the best thing. What's going on here? Well, it would help if it lined itself up properly, wouldn't it? Moving forward to dock at that. Hello. That's going to be a problem for you, because you're not actually going to be lining up there. Can we, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, you're coming inside. Wow, that is an extreme level of slide you've got going on there. Wow. Oof. Note to self, don't physical time warp, obviously. Yeah, that is special. Right. Yeah. So what we've learned is this thing is not as maneuverable as you think. Now what I will do is actually shut down that engine. Right, there we go. We're now bringing it back under control a little bit. And now what's it doing? So it's moving towards the starting point again. Now, is that because we physically time warped it? Sometimes that happens. So we're just going to move along and see what happens. We're now lining up again, and it's doing that thing again where it's going to overshoot, isn't it? It has a big thing with overshooting this. This is really interesting. I did not expect this. So when we come to dock, I may actually have to do it manually, because the autopilot docking is not as impressive as one would hope. So what I'd be aiming for is for that to be on the marker for the target, but that's not going to happen. Is it now? Is it now thrusting? I think it is. It's going to miss, I think. Come on. Oh, you are coming in fast. So I think we should really limit the speed to like 0.2. There you go. I think it's going to miss again, or it's going to bump really hard. I think, yeah. I think we're going to have a bit of a heavy contact here. This is a new way of them docking. Normally they line up and then just... Whoa. What are you doing? What are you doing? Seriously? It is having a lot of trouble here. Wow. That is really interesting. So we had it at 1 meter per second maximum. I think we'll try this again. Right, it's repositioning itself and it's now moving into dock again. Now, is it because we've slowed it down? It looks as though it's better. So I think what we've learned is this thing doing the docking probably doesn't have as much maneuverability as this. And it's not able to... Oh, let's not pick that up. It's not able to do it quite as well. And it seems to come in with a fair whack, doesn't it? And then this is still very fast for a docking. I should point that out. So that should come in and that should dock okay. There we go. Right. All right, so that's that test done. Now, let us see. We're gonna transfer some crew around. This is probably going to go horribly wrong. So we're going to take, let's see. Who do we want to move? Lefebvre can stay, so we'll move Stuart into there. And there's going to be 2 crew in this when it's actually doing stuff, so we're going to move another one as well. Come on, hurry up. Oh, they take their time, don't they? All right, transfer crew again. We're going to move Wagner over to here. So that leaves Lefebvre in the mission module, as it were. Not the mission module, it's actually the descent module, but we're going to call it the mission module. We've got the other 2 in the lander. Now, before we do anything, we want to actually get rid of this. So let's decouple that. There we go. Right, that's good. That's now out of the way. You'll see the ladders have gone off with it. That we like. And so this is our ascent module. Now, the big issue here is we do actually have fuel on board that we probably want to get some rid of. So I'm wondering, is there an easy way to do that? No, there is not. Control. Nope, not doing that. There used to be a mod that allowed you to move stuff around. And it was very specific. You could, and I think it was one of the TAC ones, was it? I think. Was it fuel balancer? Possibly. And you could empty individual tanks. And I really miss that because I would want to empty 2 of these tanks to do what I'm about to do, just to give us a bit more sort of control and balance on stuff. Right, so we're going to disconnect this. There we go. Right, so now I'm going to put you on the normal. Oh, we have got magnetism there. Let's just back away. Get away, get away. Oh, we've redocked. Off, right. How did that happen so badly? Let's try this again. Undock. Pull away, pull away, pull away, pull away. The magnetism one, that was far too high there. That looks a bit weird. Let's go to normal that way. And then we're going to pull this one. Now, that we're going to set as our target. You need to control a vessel from a docking port. Okay, I'll control you from there then. There we go. That's now holding. So now imagine we get close. Let's try and do this then. How do I enable you? There we go. Right, let's see how this one goes. Now, obviously here we have got our little engines here. So they do the maneuvering when we're on orbit, as it were, to get us close. This is just our ascent engine that would get us up. And I think this has only got a single... Does this have a single ignition? It's not going to tell me, is it? It doesn't say. Infinite ignitions? Maybe there's a glitch with it. I seem to remember it being only a single ignition system. And that's the way I would normally treat it, which is why we've got these 2 little side modules on. So let's see, is this going to work nicely is the question we're going to see ourselves on. I tell you what, I'm going to speedy weedy up a bit, and I shall see you when we're nearer the target. Right, so we're now coming into that starting point, and we can see that we've got about 2 meters until the docking axis. So the docking axis, if anybody's ever interested in this, the docking axis is basically this line up here. So we're trying to slide into it and into it, and then we'll basically be lined up, and then MechJeb will just push us forward onto it. Is the normal plan. We've been carrying a lot of lateral movement as we've been coming in, so I don't know if that's a change to MechJeb or something that I've not seen before anyway. So this should just be flying now. The interesting thing is this seems a much more nimble craft, as you'd imagine. Oh, we can see them in the pod there. This seems much more suitable for the docking actually, so I'm quite happy about this. And this one should be really easy. This is just basically the same as the last one. So we know that this has enough maneuverability to basically swing itself around. One of the things you will have noticed I did was I actually had that. Oh, we've got some science coming in. I actually had the I'm going to call it the mission module. It's not the mission module. It's the descent module. I had the descent module change its orientation completely, which forced this this lander module to actually, or the return to orbit module to actually change its position and everything and rotate around and spin around. So we did pretty much everything we could to make this more difficult. I could have put it into higher orbit and done its orbital plane change and things like that, but I'm not too worried about that. That's just going to take time. My concern is actually the amount of resources on orbit, but we will see how long they've got for orbital plane changes and things like that. So there we go. All sorted. Wonderful. Now, that's actually a really nice picture, isn't it? I like that. That's a good little view there. Yeah, we've got the there's the sun. Oh, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Right, anyway, enough of the beauty shots. So we need to get our crew back. So let's where's my transfer crew? Transfer crew. We're going to transfer you back into here. And then we could do anything actually. What I'm actually going to do is we're going to transfer crew, going to move you into there. There we go. We're going to use, I think, the main engines on here. We're going to take this down with us. We'll dump it on the way into the atmosphere because it's just not going to work for us. So let's put us in retrograde. We've got all of the RCS running now, have we? Is this RCS running? It's not on the system as running, which is interesting. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on there. Is it or not? Yeah, it is. So that even though it's up here, it has actually been started to run. Okay. We'll use these. Oh, actually, you know what? Let's put it prograde. I'm going to fire that engine because I want to get a bit of data on it. These little thrusters don't need the data. This could actually do with a bit of data, couldn't it? So let's do that. And then we can just manually activate it. There we go. Right, there we are. Does it have a gimbal? Actually, that's a good question. Does it have a gimbal? I don't know if it does. One doesn't check these things, does one? All we're going to try and do is dump this out of into the atmosphere. We're not too worried about what, when, where, and how. So yeah, we can just do it now. So get a bit of that on, and then oh, it didn't. Vapor in the feed line. That's because they were pushing the other way. All right, put us in retrograde then. Oh, that's annoying. Failed that one. Can I actually relight you though? Shut down. Restart. We could shut these all down. You know what? Let's go back to prograde. Let's shut all these down. Let's try that. This is not something that is part of the mission. Let me just be honest with you on that one. We would not normally be doing this. This is not a sort of mission parameter situation that we've got. But we're gonna try anyway. Let's have a look. Shut down. I think that's all of them, isn't it? No, it isn't. Why were only half of them showing as having fuel? That's interesting. Are they different engines? Are they different engines? 1.4523. Oh, they are. Oh, now that's interesting. That is interesting. Right, let's see if this engine will restart. Get that going. And then it does. So it has a second ignite. That is interesting. So that's always an emergency situation if we have to. Are these fuels different? What are we actually running? We're running Erosine, and we're running... Well, this is not the craft, but interestingly, they could actually share fuels. So that's an interesting one. Yeah, so we'll just have this come pull itself down. Then we'll decouple. There goes the spent upper stage. We're just going to bring this down, and that's it. So I think I'll have to have a check at these engines. The fact that they've got a different mixture ratio. Oh no, they're not now. Predicted residuals. Where's my mixture ratio? Where was that showing? That one. Where is it? Mixture ratio 1523. Mixture ratio 1607. So there's something different between these two sets of engines. So I think we need to check that on that craft as well. But then that's not a big issue for us. We're not really using it at the moment. We don't have big things going on at the moment with delivering crew to orbit other than going to the moon. So we don't have a space station to send them to. Right, I'm going to cut this out when it gets to 55. We're going to put it on the normal. I'm going to speedy this up a bit as well because, you know, don't need that. Why am I putting it on the normal? Because I don't want this hitting me when I come back down. This will decouple that. We're just going to decouple absolutely everything, aren't we? Yep, there we go. Right. Do that. Do that. Do that. Transfer over to you. Thank you. We're going to arm the parachute. There we go. Right, we should be ready. And why are we not RCSing? That's an issue. Oh, I know why. Need to actually activate the tanks. There we go. Right, we are now ready. Now this thing, ooh, have I done that early? Oh, we're going through the radiation belt at the moment. We have about an hour and 40 minutes of electric charge. We're not too worried. Yeah, we should be fine. Perhaps this is on its way in. I was a bit risky there because I should have actually checked where we were going when we were going to hit anything. But you know, it's fine. It's fine. We've got an hour and a half of electricity, so it's not a big issue for us. We could have actually stayed attached to our fuel cells and things like that. You know what? We're just going to let this thing float around. I was going to correct it, but yeah. Surface negative. There we go. Execute that for when we come in. And we should hit about... There we go. Wonderful. Right. And we're going into the atmosphere and we've got some stuff. So I'm going to leave this for its re-entry now. And I shall see you next time when we're going to be continuing our planning for the moon, for moon boots. And possibly launching some other craft. We will see. So from me, until next time, have a great one.